Well, it's June 7th, 2025, and we're going to head out and do a little bit of exploring in the local areas. Got Liam in the back with both Ringo and Jazzy, the dogs, with us. It's supposed to be really hot today, too, about almost 90 degrees, which is a little unseasonably warm. So we thought we'd go run out in the mountains, see what we could find. It's a great day for that. It's going to be a little warm, but we got the air conditioning. Brought the dogs with us so they can stay cool, don't have to stay home in the heat all day, and see what we can find. We're going to go poke around some areas we've been in many times before, but just see if we can find anything new. Another part of this is that we're going to do a little shakedown on new phone mount and iPad mount for the rig. So right now I am driving with a full-size iPad running Onyx on it, and a new wireless charger for my phone, which is great. So if you haven't seen the video where we did the little install on this, we've got a brand new quad lock phone mount on a Pro Clip mount that covers the vent a little bit on the driver's side. So no more suction cup mounts that get warm and fall off. And it's a quick just quarter twist, not even a quarter twist, eighth twist to lock it into the place, and it's got a wireless charger built in, so we're able to just add and remove the phone really quick. And then we also added another Pro Clip mount. They have two different locations that you can get for these rigs for the 4th Gen 4 runners. We're also just running, you can see it on the dash there, a Garmin GLO2 external GPS for Bluetooth. This iPad doesn't have the built-in GPS chip, so we had to do something. So we're heading up towards the Cascade Mountains to see what we can find. Probably peruse some already known areas and look for some new stuff. So stay tuned. Well, we're off the highway now. We just passed a reservoir called Green Peter Reservoir on Quartzville Scenic Byway. It's kind of in our backyard, someplace we come on a fairly regular basis. Right now, it's all just paved roads. There we go. So right now, it's a 2-lane paved road. Here in a little while, it changes to a single-lane paved road, and it does that all the way up to the next highway, which is Highway 22. So it connects Highway 20 and 22 as a paved Forest Service road. I believe it's NF11 is the number. And then there's just tons of forest roads in between that interconnect and don't go anywhere. All sorts of stuff. So, side note, loving the new phone and tablet mount. The tablet is just a great, so far, map to have. Haven't used it a whole lot yet, but just being able to look over with my, 45-year-old eyes, having a much bigger screen. Well, we just jumped over to the, official Forest Service road, so no more center lines. It's still pretty much a 2-lane road, so we're kind of darting in and out right now of like BLM. It's not even Forest Service yet. It's a Forest Service road, but BLM. See about actually getting through from point A to point B to somewhere, maybe make it up to Detroit Reservoir. Done that before on motorcycles, but I think there's a couple other ways to do it that we've never done. Up the road here, if you're familiar with this area, we're just getting to Yellow Bottom. So that's just past the old Miners Meadow campground. There's a couple group use campgrounds up here. So we're continuing up NF11, still on the pavement area of this. It's always been one of my favorite roads for this area. I mean, it's a pretty decent road, got some pretty decent views, lots of side roads that you can play on. We haven't done a lot, but we've done this several times on motorcycles. It's a fun road on motorcycles. But we decided, we stopped. There was a three road split back there, and kind of looked at them. One of them looked like it was kind of fun. Went up the mountain, didn't really end up going anywhere. Maybe you could have interconnected somewhere else. And then another one did kind of go similar, and then it ran into several other roads, but one of them was a Onyx trail called Lucky Buttes Lake, I think it's called. And then so we looked at that, and I think we're going to go ahead and just try and roughly follow the trail, not the side road, but the Lucky Buttes Lake Onyx route, which is so far still following NF11, but it's going to turn off here in a little bit. And then we're going to turn and run up and try and get up closer to Detroit Lake, see if we can get to Detroit Lake. Liam says, I want to go to the lake. So I think we're going to try and get up there. I've done it before, maybe not that route, but a different route. The wife and I did on motorcycles years ago. I don't know if this is the same route or not. All right, well, we just turned off onto National Forest 1155, first gravel of the day, and we're heading up mostly, well, currently about east-southeast, but this route's gonna start heading us towards north-ish, northeast maybe, towards Detroit Lake. So we're gonna follow this for a while, maybe take off on some spur roads, see if there's any good camp spots, etc. According to the new Onyx layer of dispersed camping, we're not currently in dispersed camping, but we've only got just a short distance to go before we get there. Well, we just stopped for a minute. There's kind of this wide spot on the road here, just basically a pull off, and decided to let the dogs out for a minute and stretch our legs real quick. So according to the Onyx, you can disperse camp allowed within 300 feet of the road. So it's not a bad spot. Kind of a cool, just a big pull-off spot. I don't know what they ever used it for. No fire rings or anything. But so first spot of the day, it is warm. It is hot out here today so far, especially the sun. I had to park the rig somewhat in the shade just to try and keep it cool. So give a minute for the dogs and the kid to do a little walk, and then we'll get back on the road. Well, so far this is a pretty good road. It looks like they've been doing some logging up here a little bit, but pretty good road. There's been a couple little washboard sections, a couple potholes. So far it's great. According to the car, it's about 84 degrees outside right now. Yeah, Liam says, oh my goodness. But pretty cool so far, enjoying it. No great views or anything yet. There have been one road that is not on Onyx. You can see it on the satellite. It looks like it was kind of a logging road. It's just pretty primitive, but looked like it was in good shape. Primitive, no real good gravel on it or anything. Looked like it was mostly just bare dirt. And then another one that is part of the dispersed camping, and both of which look like they actually would have cut off the main route and kind of just been like a bypass. I don't know if I'd call them shortcut. I don't know if they're actually shorter. The one was gravel and is marked as dispersed camping, so that's a known road. And that one might have been a little bit of a shortcut, actually. Looks like it could be shorter. The other one was all dirt and just climbed right up the hill. I'm not so sure that might be shorter, but I don't know if it was going to be any faster. It would be interesting to go back and explore that one a little bit more.
But it was sketchy.
Yeah, Liam thinks it was a little sketchy. It was definitely a four-wheel drive road. It was not a gravel road. You know, so far this is all two-wheel drive. You know, Subarus, cars, trucks, anything. This has been relatively smooth. The first part was a little washboardy, but so far this is nothing that you couldn't do in any rig. So we just came from up this road here, and to our left, according to Onyx, it looks like that would have been one of the routes that we originally could have taken off of NF11. Looks like a great road. Straight, looks like it's going to take us kind of a windy way up to Detroit Lake, and then to the right is actually the route in Onyx for Lucky Buttes Lake. So we're trying to decide if we're going to go right or straight. I think we're leaning towards straight right now, although I've never been probably on either of these, but I've definitely never been on the one to the right. So far, still another great road. A few pull-offs and other little side roads here and there. Whole thing's marked as dispersed camping. No great views or anything yet, but we're having a good time. Actually flipped Onyx over to the newer cell phone layers, and it says I should have a little cell service, so turn it on, and sure enough I had about 1 or 2 bars, which was kind of cool. I don't really need it, but nice to just go ahead and turn it back on for a minute and let it update, maybe synchronize some waypoints between the iPad and it. So I've got the iPad hotspotted to the phone and see if it'll grab some new waypoints. Trying to get some photos and a track so that we can actually start submitting tracks to Onyx. Our area seems like there's just not really a lot of routes, and a lot of times when I do find a route on Onyx, a lot of times it's like starts at the middle of somewhere and then ends. It doesn't really get you anywhere. It's just kind of like here's a route. It gets you, 6 miles into the middle of nowhere. And I'm big into like point A to point B routes, and so hoping to maybe build some myself and get on that. So first time I'm really trying to actually grab some photos of this and hoping this will work out. Maybe this will be our first route that we can submit to Onyx to try and be I don't even remember what the term is they call it, but someone who basically can submit trails to them for everybody else's enjoyment. And another good reason why we love exploring, because you never know when you're going to have a good view around the corner. We just came around this corner, and pretty decent view here, but you can see all the wildfire burn over there. I'm not 100% sure which that is. There was a couple fires up here, but I think based off of direction, it's the Beachy Creek fire from, I believe it was 2020. That's when that one happened. Let's see here. Yeah, 2020, August of 2020. And so if that is the case, then it looks like I actually got a pretty decent long-range view here, actually looking across part of the lake, because the lake should be at the bottom of that. So that should be on the other side of the lake from where we're at right now. But you can see a couple roads over there. I don't recall if that area is open yet or not, but still a decent view. It's just a bummer. That was a big fire that burned a lot of acres. Coming around another corner, we got pretty much our first good view of Detroit Lake down there. Definitely see a lot of boat activity. You can see the burn area on the other side. That town actually down there where a lot of the boats and stuff are coming from, it pretty much burned, I think, that whole town and several others down the canyon. It was a bad fire. Winds shifted overnight and it just blew up the canyon just super fast. They basically just had enough time to get people out. They didn't have any time to actually attempt to fight it. They were in full-on evacuation mode, just get people out of harm's way. There was fires all over the place. 2020 was a bad year for fires in Oregon, especially in the mid-Willamette Valley. All right, so it looks like we're about to hit the pavement again, Forest Service Road pavement. So we've been on 2212 according to Onyx, and it looks like to the right is 2212 540, which looks like it's a well-traveled route. Well, you never know what to expect when you're out exploring. We just came around a corner here a little bit ago, and gentleman and his lady were sitting on the side of the road, their F-150, trying to get the tire down from the back, and had a blown out tire on their right rear, just couldn't get the crank to come down, so stopped, and thankfully just having a flashlight helped that, just being able to see. He had it hooked up wrong for cranking it down, and then it started cranking down. But having the right tools and things on hand really help. And many times I wonder about the things I carry, like an inflator's good. I got to blow up tires if I air them down. Okay, we tried to air it up at first, but the leak was just too big. It would have probably held enough to get him down the hill, but it was going to take it a while to blow it up. And, you know, he finally got it cranking down his spare. And so then, you know, speed things up for him. I whip out the DeWalt cordless impact. Hey, we'll get that tire off there really quick. Let's not mess around. You know, still have to use the old school jack that comes in the F-150, and then got that off. And it's just, again, having the right things help out. So when we got it there, the jack wouldn't lift it high enough to get the new tire in. So whip out the old ARB deflator, deflated it. I mean, we pretty much had it down to just a couple PSI probably. It was flat. Had to actually push down on it to get it to go. We just couldn't get the jack up high enough. So got that in there and then put the inflator back up, blow it back up, and they're on their way. Sounds like we were the first ones to even come along. Nobody had even come along. Kind of quiet, even though there's people recreating in the river and camping. There was nobody really driving the road. So we're almost down on this. We're probably just a short distance from being back at the dam and cross that and then figure out what to do with ourselves. It's about 4:40 in the afternoon, so we're probably going to go for dinner. And just like that, we are down. Actually, I guess we're not quite to the dam, but we got a little bridge here to cross. It crosses one of the arms of the river. Some water on both sides. So pretty good. We're pretty much back to the main highway now. Just a little bit more to go, I think. Wrap this up. It wasn't a really great adventure today, but it was an adventure and I had fun. Did you have fun?
Yeah.
Yep. Liam had fun. The dogs seem happy. Although sometimes they get a little antsy in the car. I think they're happy to just be with us and out and about. And we've made it to Detroit Dam. This is the end of the road for this this tour. See down over the dam a little bit. Big reservoir over here. White pickup up there in front of us is actually the one we helped with the tire. So right up here at that stop sign is good old Highway 22. So that's it for this one. Everything worked out pretty good on our end. Everything worked. All our new mounts for the iPad and the phone were great. So that was nice. But yeah, we're hitting the highway and we're heading home.